Mm. All right, there we are. It's happening. From what I can tell, there is a little bit of a sequence in the beginning that is not visible on stream, which is great, but let's get through it.
そして、あの子たちは今もこの街で笑っているんです。
Okay, now we do
実
have
は、あ
visuals.
の子たちと一緒に遊びに行きたかったんですけどね。
I did not get the chance to play with the stuff here. Is it gonna stay the same I configured it in the other one? Is it still... I don't even remember if I configured it anyway. I don't think this was exactly the same. I think the background music was lower and the sound effects. Usually I prefer them lower. So let's see how this works for us. And if not, we can come back and adjust it. Okay, let's go.
そこが勤め人の辛いところです。
ま、一緒に行ったって若い奴らにはついていけないさ。
まあ、ひどいですね。私だってまだまだいけますよ。
悪い、冗談だ。気にするな。
困った人ですね。
それで、そいつらとは最近も話しているのか？
あ、ごまかしてますね。本当に困った人です。宮子たちと同じですよ。もう、進藤さんにも堤さんにもほとんど会っていません。
そうか。
でも、それでいいんですよ。あの子たちは、とっくに自分の足で歩いているんですから。
次は、優子の番だな。
私の？
そうだ。お前には、なくしてしまったものがあるんだろ。
そうです。大事なものは、もう失われてしまったんです。ただ、思い出のかけらが、いくつか散らばっているだけ。
いや、違う。なくしたものは、取り戻せばいい。俺が取り戻させてやる。
相変わらず、あなたは強気なんですね。
弱気な俺なんて見たくないだろ。
Hey, oddly manifested. How are
あな
you?
たは、今日までずっと強さを失わずに来たんですね。私が憧れた、強くて優しい日村優くんのまま。私は違う。
I'm a little bit under the weather, so I need to apologize for my voice in advance. This is the best I can do. But otherwise things are alright. It's alright. This is gonna pass too.
違わねえよ。
違うんですよ。私は変わってしまった。
Thank you. I'm sure it's gonna pass in a couple days. I'm definitely past the worst point of it.
お前はお前だ。少なくとも俺にとっては、そうなんだよ。
Let me know if the voices are too loud or if I should adjust it, because I can always adjust my headphones, but I'm not sure just how loud the voices are compared to my voice, especially when it's like this. So if I should lower the volume a bit on the voices, just give me a ping. Aww. Yes, thank you for noticing. I wish
やっぱりあなたは優しすぎますね。
I wish I had had the energy to also put on matching makeup, but it didn't happen tonight. Sorry about that. I have other red shirts though, so maybe some other time. Thank you, Beatrice. I appreciate it.
一ついいですか？
なんだ？
私も知りたいんです。
知りたい？
私が知らないあなたのことを教えてほしい。
俺自身には大したことはなかったな。割と平凡な日々だったよ。
ゆうくんが平凡？なんかうさんくさいですね。
俺自身のことはともかく、信じられないような人間と会ったりしたな。
あら、誰ですか？
それを話すにはちょっと時間を遡らなきゃいけない。俺とお前の過去にも関係のあることだ。
私たちの。
そうだ。いや、その前にあの子のことも話しておかなきゃいけないな。
あの子。あの子って女の子なんですね。
Her voice on that phrase.
変なところで鋭いな、お前は。
これでも私も女の子ですので。
そういうのじゃない。ただ、その子のことを話さないと、俺がここにいる理由も語れないんだ。彼女がいたから、俺は優子がここで待っているって知ることができたんだよ。
私のことをその子がゆうくんに？
そうだよ。直接ってわけじゃないけどな。少なくともきっかけを作った人間の一人だ。
It looks like it, yes, yes. I started having like a bit of a scratchy throat on Saturday. On Sunday, it was the absolute worst. I was even feverish at some point. It was not nice. And after that, it's gotten better. Definitely my throat doesn't hurt as much, but it's still a little bit scratchy. And now it's my nose that's just being fucking Niagara Falls all day and not calming down at all. Even though it seems to behave right now that I start to stream. Maybe there's some incentive there. But yeah. It seems whatever he had, it was passed on. But he's got better and I'm getting there too. So, and also I took a quick corona test and was negative, so I don't know if that is any sort of reassurance, but there's that. I also have some tea with me. I'm gonna sip from it throughout the stream. It is my third cup today. Yeah. Lots of tea with honey these days. Not to mention medicine, of course. I haven't been treating myself just with tea.
それに、お前が話した物語との深い関わりも持っている。
Yeah, right? But you know, I've had corona in the past. I had Delta. And the beginning of this was just so eerily
Your
similar
recognition honors
that I was like, oh my god, what's happening? You know? So I don't know. I think we did the best we could. It's we're starting to put it past us, so whatever. Thank you for the resub, Squid, and also good morning. Hope you have had a good start to your week. Thanks for being around. And good luck in all your meetings, because I'm expecting that you're gonna have a lot of them, as usual. Well, good luck, fingers crossed. You got it.
その子は誰なんですか？
彼女の名前は新藤千尋。
新藤。
ああ。さて、どこから話そうか。
Yeah, right. So the thing that we couldn't see last time at the very end of the music video was just excerpts of this conversation. So actually we didn't miss anything. Let's start with Chihiro's story. Let's go, please. I'm excited. I like her very much.
カラスなぜ鳴くのカラスは山にかわいい七つの子があるからよ
Right. On my way home from school, I heard a song in this uninhabited station. A nostalgic Japanese song. In other words, this station wasn't uninhabited. What a pretty voice. Being careful to not disturb the pebbles scattered across the ground like constellations, I quietly threaded through the station. And that was where I met her. No, I'll start from the epilogue. That's more appropriate for this story. A story about broken memories. Oh, I'm getting shivers already. Perhaps you could call it a misbegotten fairy tale. It was about piecing back together the scattered memories which she had assembled each day.
ねえ、彼女と会ったこと、後悔してる？
She asked me that after I told her everything. It was the dead of a winter night. I stood perfectly still in this dry chill which was stealing the heat from beneath me. Even so, it was a lovely moonlit night. It was serene, like being in a desert of silver salt. Well, it was such a quiet night that I could embrace that it had ended.
聞いちゃダメだった？
My cousin, Mizuki Hayama. Oh, I forgot they were cousins. Right. Spoke once more, probably because I had neglected to reply. No. Regret?
そう、後悔。
Let me think. I questioned it within my very heart. I thought about the days I spent with her, and about our separation. Yeah, I think I do. I replied honestly. I wonder what would have happened if we had met under different circumstances, or if there was more I could have done. Or what might have been if I had more strength. I hate having such vexing, painful thoughts.
レンジ、今笑ってる？
Why?
声がそんな感じだったから。
I regret it though. Our time together wasn't even that happy. Again, I replied honestly. And I was able to answer instantly.
そっか。そっか。みんな頑張ってるんだね。
Everyone?
こっちの話。もう遅いし電話代もかかるから切るね。今度遊びに行くからおばさまにもよろしくって伝えておいて。
Thanks, Mizuki.
え？ありがとうって何が？
This phone call. You were worried about me. Actually, I think I'm gonna do the voices just a bit, like everything just a tad lower. Just a little bit. Sound effects maybe even a bit lower than the background music. There we go. I forcibly grinned. My usually annoying cousin never used to be so considerate.
んなわけないでしょ。おやすみ、レンジ。
It seems that Squid is kind of busy, so he couldn't answer your question, but I could say that most likely, yes, from what I'm aware of, he's working from home, so all his meetings are online ones. Good night, Mizuki. The phone beeped 3 times, confirming the end of the call. It was a lovely moonlit night. I do regret it. My voice shook. The edges of my eyes and the lining of my throat burned. I began to think this feeling of regret would never end. It didn't seem like I could sleep. My body was chilled through. Though I wanted to curl right up in bed and sink into unconsciousness, my heart ached and I was wide awake. I fetched her notebook from my pocket. Oh God. The notebook she gave me as we parted. Her precious memories. They were embedded within. Let's recall them, one by one. It was a tale I was personally involved in. I had reread it many times and committed it to memory. Such was written on the first page. In beautiful, soothing writing. From me of yesterday to the me of today. Ah, the chills, they're still there. A lone girl was sitting on a bench which furnished the station. That bench was my favorite spot, but it's not like it had a wet paint or reserved sign on it. The girl was staring at the other platform. It was a frozen atmosphere. Her figure appeared as though she was immersed in the resonance of a shuttle launch or perhaps a chick demanding feed. No, more like a fledgling pushed from its nest. I gazed at her absent-mindedly, but suddenly got the feeling that it would be bad to disturb her. It was probably because the spectacle before me was so beautiful. I thought about quietly leaving the station, but I wonder what she was gazing so fervently at, so I followed her glance. She was gazing at nothing. Yet there was the sky. The winter sunset grew chilly, as though symbolizing that coldness itself. I like Renji as the narrator. He is so poetic. Yes, please give me more of this. In doing so, there certainly seemed to be merit in absent-mindedness. I shifted my line of vision downward. At some point, she had begun staring at me. Did she have an infection? She was looking at me with only her uncovered right eye. I considered my next move. No train will come to this station. Sorry, it's nothing. I reflexively apologized, my face adequately and deceptively serious. Neither of us spoke. It was a given that there was nothing more to be said. It was sensible that I should be the one to leave since she was here first. See you. I held up my right hand and gently waved. She stared blankly, but returned my wave. With that, our first encounter came to an end. It was a wintertime encounter. An encounter that lasted less than 45 seconds. That was our first encounter. However, there was almost no mention of it in her diary.
駅でベンチに座っていたら学生服の男の子が来たけれど、おかしなことを言ってすぐに帰ってしまいました。
It was a meeting devoid of wonder or drama, and there was certainly nothing written about a fateful premonition. But thinking back on it, I knew that this passing and invariant meeting had been significant. Human memory is discontinuous, and our past impressions are constantly being modified by our future impressions. For example, a book or game which I felt represented the pinnacle of entertainment could easily be blotted out by something even more vivid in the future. Or the fun times I spent with a lover could represent not more than abject loneliness, if I were to think back on them after we parted. I could cite examples forever. That was a given. a given. I smirked at my remark. The night was still young and the diary continued to pull me in. It was about a week after our initial meeting. At that time, I hated the phrase, a given.
おはよ
A voice called out to me from the kitchen as I adjusted the collar of my uniform. Morning.
う。ご飯はもうちょっと待っててね。
Okay.
まあ、よくなくてもあと5分は待ってもらうけど。
My mother, Sumire, came out to the living room. Due to the fact that Dad was often abroad for business, Mom had gotten used to us living alone together and had adopted a very relaxed disposition. As she stood there, she looked at me, the TV, and the pot over the flame in the kitchen. She was as restless as a comedian.
そういえば、今日はお母さん帰りが遅くなるからよろしくね。
Cooking class? I had to be careful about this sensitive topic. This so-called cooking class was in actuality a gathering Mom held as a time-killing diversion. I went to it once. The stairs were unbearable. Oh, love her outfit, yeah, it looks good. But Beatrice suddenly has memories that maybe are not so pleasant.
そうそう。ちょっと友達とケーキを食べてくるの。だから少し早めに帰ってきて留守番しててくれないかな。
Sure. It was a normal morning like any other. The start of an ordinary day. I sat on the sofa, examined the ceiling, and looked over at the clock. It was 7:30 a.m. And then it wasn't. During homeroom, we were suddenly given handouts asking us to consider our future careers. It was a splendid surprise attack. Unlike the forms I had received as a child, this one asked for a more concrete decision. I couldn't write down dreams like, I want to be a baseball player or I want to be an astronaut. Those were too far off to reach, no matter what. That was what I believed until I reflected upon what my teacher had said. He told me that I would become an exceptional person one day. A person who would discover his true strengths. She gave me Akio's level of cringe. Okay. I mean, I do remember her existing, but I don't remember her giving me bad vibes. We'll see. I had always envisioned myself as a knight protecting a princess and overcoming numerous conflicts. I had outlived that vision. A little too late? For some reason, I was smiling as I held my clenched right hand in front of me. It was both unrealistic and childish, but to me, Renji Aso, it was truly my dream. What should I do? I looked up at the sky once more, a slow-moving, transparent blue. The winter sky felt so near, yet was still unreachable. It seems the time to decide on my future has indeed come. I was able to whisper that like it was someone else's problem. Even so, I'm not anxious about it. I was always loitering about in a certain place. Maybe it was time to ask someone else about my problem.
で、俺のところに来たわけか。
His muffled voice resounded in this empty room. It was a church in the corner of the suburbs. Though the room should have been hermetically sealed, the many windows and the high ceiling made it extremely cold. Actually, I got the feeling a draft was blowing in from somewhere. People gathered here often, so the keepers should have spent some money on a heating system. It really is cold.
おい、聞いてるのか、レンジ。
Huh? Yes, of course. I hurriedly replied in a deeper voice, turning my attention to him. His face, though, he's not amused. I wanted to ask for an adult's opinion on my future career.
そうだな。
Oh, his expressions, they're priceless. Nodding in wonderment, the man squinted his eyes.
それ自体はいいんだが、よくもないが。問題はむしろ、なんでそこで俺が出てくるかってことだ。
I let out a sigh that I didn't quite understand myself. It just kinda happened.
お前、友達いないだろ。
Does that have anything to do with this?
俺は別に神父でもないし、ボランティアでセラピーをやってるわけでもないんだけどな。
He murmured, bemused. His pitch black clothing had a priest-like quality, but certainly his speech and conduct didn't align with the church. Rather, based upon his appearance and personality, he felt more like a difficult-to-approach science teacher. I thought he'd be suited for anything but the service industry. The man in front of me, Yu Himura, was a man of unknown age, occupation, and origin. I had spoken with him like this many times, but I still didn't know him very well. He seemed to always spend his free time here, and before I knew it, he had become established as someone people our age could consult. Apparently. Hey, I got it. If you're here, it's natural for someone to ask you for help.
こんなところ？
Well, it's a church, so wouldn't people with a worry or two come here?
教会に来るやつはみんなして悩みを抱えてるのかよ。
More than people who go to a supermarket or an arcade, anyway.
比較対象がめちゃくちゃだろ。
He shrugged his shoulders.
しかし、進路相談ね。まだ1年だろ、お前。最近の学校は早いんだな、そういうの。
What do you mean?
なんでもいいけどさ。で、そもそも何になりたいか決まってるなら相談なんてしないな。
He averted his gaze and crossed his arms.
得意なものとか好きなものは？
I can cook a little, and I enjoy reading, I guess.
小説？漫画？
I like both, but prefer novels.
じゃあそれ関係でいいだろう。文系の大学行くなりして編集者になるとか、好きなら自分で書いたっていいんだから。
Huh? Is that all?
そうだよ。それでいいんだろう。
Well, I guess so, but I had to frown in the face of such blunt advice.
何が気になるんだ？
I wonder if it's as simple as turning something I enjoy into a job.
嫌いなことを仕事にするより1000倍マシじゃないか。
Wasn't that too obvious? Still, nothing else came to mind. He looked at me with a sort of smile for the first time.
当たり前のことだって思ってるだろう。そんなこと言われなくても分かってるって。
Huh?
当たり前ってのはな。それが正しいからこそ、みんなが揃って口にして、そのうち当たり前になるんだ。
He had a cynical way of smiling, but his tone sounded kinder than ever.
何か勘違いしてるかもしれないが、世の中にいる天才とか成功したやつの言ってることなんて全部適当だぞ。才能があったとか努力したとか、そういうのはつまり成功したから深い意味があるように聞こえるだけだ。言い訳なんだよ。
The topic suddenly changed, and I could no longer follow him. How were these two subjects related?
失敗した天才だっているし、成功するバカだっている。その逆もしかり。
Fortunately that is the reality of the world.
何に基準を置いてるかによって痛い目に遭うぞって話さ。そこが本質。悩むんじゃなくて考えてみな。
That's good advice, actually.
これが大人の意見ってやつだ。
But I can understand how this can sound kind of abstract to a teenager who doesn't really know what kind of path they want to take in life. Finishing his speech, he pointed at something. It was the door of the church. That's not very subtle, you. That feels good. It's so warm. I sniffled. It was certainly cold, but the wind felt pleasant on my warm face. It should have been completely settled, but I got a feeling I'd been harboring quite a mental fever. Using common sense, I wouldn't have sought consultation if I could do that. I have to think a little more on my own, huh? I linked my hands behind my head and pondered what to do. There wasn't anything else, but I didn't feel like going straight home. It couldn't hurt to cool my head a little more. I spontaneously turned towards the station. No, it wasn't spontaneous. I felt some sort of anticipation. I wondered if she would be there. Aww. There she is. It felt like I was reliving that prior spectacle. She was there. As though she were waiting for something, she absent-mindedly gazed up at the sky, just like last time. Again, she was like a baby bird. I could hear the clamor from around the station off in the distance. Been a ton of work the last few days? Alright, yeah, I feel you. I feel you in the depths of my being. And also don't worry about the chat. I much appreciate your presence and just like, you know, dropping by to say hi. It's perfectly fine, and it fills my squid quota for the week, and my heart is warm and fuzzy just from that. So you good, my friend, you good. Aww. Yeah, it's alright. We gotta do what we gotta do. Such as are the times, such as the time zone where I am compared to yours. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. So, yeah. Alrighty. It would be weird for me to call out to her, but on the other hand, to come this far and just leave would be overly hesitant. While I was thinking it over, she noticed me. Hey.
どうも。
The girl nodded to me after a short delay. Am I interrupting something?
いえ。
As she shook her head, her hair and the strings from her eye patch swayed in unison. You don't work at the aquarium? Oh, that's so precious. Good one. After surveying my face for a short while, she slowly stood up. She was probably a year or two younger than me. However, she didn't give off the impression of cuteness befitting her age. She was neat, or rather, she looked arranged. Her eye patch was noticeable, but it was mysterious and did no harm to her beauty. Oh, yes, to be fair, there's so many of us. Within her figure, inorganic as a doll, her peculiarity actually seemed evident of an existence not unlike myself.
変なこと聞いていいですか？以前、私と会った方ですか？
Huh? Yeah, we met here last week.
そうですか。ごめんなさい。会ったんですよね。やっぱり。
We are Legion. We rule the world from the shadows. One long day of debugging at a time. Oh my god, yes! I feel you in the depths of my soul. High five. Yes. Yes, I do have a headband. I used to wear these more often on stream. I would just put them on and pull like a little bit of hair to the side, and that was my hairdo. It's really comfy. I should do it more often. And I have different colors, so I would try to match them with my shirt and obviously match the makeup. And so I feel so bad. I didn't really have the energy to put on makeup today, but I'll do my best to do it next time and synchronize everything for your visual pleasure. Oh. Best job ever? Well, it is for me. Even though like there are difficulties, like, who doesn't have difficulties? At the end of the day, the difference is made is are you encountering challenges and difficulties doing something that actually fulfills you the moment you overcome those challenges and difficulties, or does it leave you barren and devoid of everything, right? And to me it does. Nothing feels better than just finding what the issue is, fixing it, and being like, yep, this is the end of my day. Great. Yep, the team makes a lot of difference too. Yep. Yeah, I have had I have had the both sides of the coins in terms of experience with good and bad teams, and I've learned to differentiate them. And thankfully, I have been working with the same team for over a year and a half now, and they're amazing. Maybe things will change at some point because, you know, life is change. And you can't do anything about it, but for now, I am just riding this wave because it's good. Even when times are bad, it's still good because we have each other's backs, and that's the most important.
そうみたいですね。
She spoke frankly, but she possessed a somewhat curious manner of speech. We really had nothing to talk about. What should I do? I was suddenly growing impatient. This was bad. Although I had hoped she'd be there. She'll be here. I hadn't considered what I'd do after we met. I should have just thought, what a cute girl, and glanced at her from afar. Why did I end up standing right in front of her? I tried moving my mouth many times, but nothing came out. Bad, bad. I riffled through my brain, seemingly devoid of conversation topics. If you took off that eye patch, would a laser shoot out? Oh my god, that's so rude. That was an awful attempt at a joke. My knees were trembling. I hated myself for being so useless.
あの、
Yes? I jerked my head up. While I had been internally combusting, the girl remained composed.
私に何か用事があるんですか？
Sorry about that. I will do it every so often, because otherwise my nose is gonna turn into a waterfall again. No, nothing really. I just kind of ended up here.
そうですか。
She responded without any real emotion and looked around.
ここ、よく来ますか？
Sniffly, yes, yes. It's been my day. And my last couple of days, actually. Tea is good, though. Tea is good. I think it's a cold. I don't know, I was discussing it with Oddly Manifested and Beatrice earlier, too. What happened was that Madcast started experiencing stuff last week. But it mostly affected his stomach, because apparently when he gets sick, his stomach is what suffers the most. But he did have some scratchy throat and cough and stuff. And then Saturday I started having the scratchy throat, and it developed into a cough. And I had a really bad Sunday because of it, a little bit feverish at some point. Yeah, I took whatever medicine we had that could have helped with it. I'm drinking tea and staying hydrated, taking vitamins and all the jazz. And it's passing. At the very minimum, I didn't feel like I was just decomposing or something when Monday started, and I was able to get through work both yesterday and today. But the throat still persists a little bit, and now it's just my nose that's kind of on the sniffly side. Clinton, good job! I'm getting there too. I'm sure it's just gonna be a couple more days of just a sniffly nose, and it's gonna pass. Yeah, thank you, Squid. It's gonna be alright. So, the questions continued. Frankly, her reaction was a little calming. Every once in a while.
静かでいい場所です。
That's true, it's quite suitable for reading. I can act out Stand By Me here too. What? I can walk on the train tracks. Nobody will get mad if I do it here, you know? Trains don't come to the station. Oh, and I guess, I don't know if it's a relevant point to make to you as well. I took a COVID test, it was negative, so make of that what you wish. I don't know what it is. If I got it from Madcast, it's probably something transmissible, at the very minimum. It was an utterly useless place. It would be fitting to scribble Tierra del Fuego on the sign.
なるほど。面白そうですね。
She smiled for the first time. So that answers your honest question. Yeah, no, we both took tests. They were both negative, so at different moments in time. I don't know. It was, what would you call it? It was a smile high in destructive power.
千尋です。
Chihiro? Ah, that's your name.
はい。獅子は先人の谷に子を落とすの。先人ってわかりますか？
Yeah, I'm Renji Aso.
麻生さん。
You can call me by my first or last name. Either is fine.
麻生さんにしておきます。
Allured by her elegant smile, I smiled straight back. Strangely manifested. I feel like oddly sounds better for some reason, I don't know. But in the end, she needs to be the one who likes it now. Clinton probably wouldn't have noticed the change. Well, they are synonyms, so in your mind, the meaning is the same. Yeah. I wouldn't call her cheerful, but she might be a more sociable girl than I expected. Come to think of it, you're early.
何がですか？
I took a shortcut, but you got here way before me. You even had time to change into your normal clothes.
それは私が学校に通っていないので当然だと思います。
Oh, really?
お昼頃からいましたので。
I see. As I was about to smile and nod, the staggering realization hit me. You don't go to school?
はい。
Ah, I see.
はい。
So that's how it is. I wondered what her circumstances were, but I treaded lightly. It didn't seem right to ask. Counseling her on her life wasn't my job. I wanted counseling myself, but that was different. The conversation stopped there. It was so silent that... Oh, sorry. If it were spring, we would have been able to hear the nightingales cry. It sure is warm today.
そうですね。
The weather is nice. Oh my god, going to the weather. The most boring topic of conversation.
そうですね。
Excuse me for a second. I held my hand up to the girl and trudged away. I didn't want her to think I was fleeing, so I walked up to a nearby pillar and meaninglessly stared up at the sky. Then I took a look around. That was stupid. Now I wished I were dead. Why was I talking about the weather, of all things?
麻生さん。
Aw, she is so cute. Chihiro pursued me.
ごめんなさい。私、帰りますから気にしないでください。
Huh? Don't worry about what?
何がというか、ご迷惑かなと思いましたので。
Bothering me?
はい。
As she confirmed it, I put a finger to my brow. I don't understand what you're trying to apologize for at all.
その、
She seemed troubled. She averted her eye, her expression barely changing.
ここは麻生さんの場所なのに、私がいて申し訳ないと、落ち着かないようですし。
Oh. I was a bit surprised due to how far off she was, but the humor of it all immediately made me laugh. Sorry, I get it. That's not it. It's completely different. I was thinking the same thing, actually.
似たようなこと？
I was thinking that you couldn't concentrate with me here.
全然そんなことありません。
It's not like that for me either, so don't worry about it. With that spirited reply,
ごめんなさい。
she blushed and drew herself back. It's fine. We both need to calm down. We've been apologizing to each other for a while now. In this kind of situation, we should take a deep breath and relax.
深呼吸？
Yeah, like in radio calisthenics. Take in a deep breath.
はい。
And exhale. Inhale? Sounds like a couple of Canadians. What do you mean? Her silence made me anxious. However, I couldn't bear that serious expression any longer. I didn't think you'd actually do it. Oh, don't make fun of her. No, I didn't mean to tease you. She glared at me, but that was even funnier. I couldn't manage a more serious expression. Sorry, I suddenly started feeling really weird. Don't you have times like that? Oh, are you angry? You know, that's the first time I've ever seen someone make breathing seem so pretty. Both sides apologizing for something they don't need to apologize for. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I had finally regained control of my expression, but hers was slightly annoyed. No, that was praise. Yeah, I said you were pretty after all. Smooth talker, Renji. Oh, her cheeks reddened. She really was a mysterious girl. Her doll-like appearance and the straightforward way she held the conversation was also something to think about. She had been taking my childish jokes seriously, but then she became flustered. In other words, her inside and outside were a mismatch, like a badly decorated birthday cake. Oh no. I looked up at the sky. Thinking about cake had reminded me of the conversation with Mom that morning. I forgot that I'm supposed to be house-sitting. I have to go home. Yeah, I really wanted to talk more, but I didn't have the courage, or rather the ability to say that. Chihiro tilted her head, like she was measuring something with a protractor. What a way to describe a person. Yeah, I don't know. There is an air about her that is unusual, which is fair. That's his way of describing the unusual part of it. It's his words, not mine. Yeah, I don't know how to reply to that, Beatrice. I don't have enough knowledge to make any sort of comment in that direction. So I'll let you guys talk it out in chat, and I will read and enjoy, but don't really have much input there. I don't really mind. No, you're welcome. I didn't really get it, but I replied reflexively. Well then, see you again. Her shoulders shook. What's wrong? She awkwardly waved her hand. It was incredibly cute. Not wanting her to see my face turning red, I left the station. The rest of that winter day passed by fleetingly. I pecked at my fish dinner, and as 8 p.m. rolled around, I lazed about on the sofa. Mom was back, finished with her tidying up. Apparently the tea party with her friends had been fun, and thus she had worn an aura of self-satisfaction since dinner time. I will before bed. Really?
It
was her line. My bad. Oh, is he back? I was surprised to hear that unexpectedly popular name. Shuichi Kuze was a professional violinist living next door. His profession had him flying around overseas, so he was rarely home. You know, that was fairly similar to my father's situation. Oh, I didn't know that. Roger, I replied while looking out the window. Indeed, light was shining from the windows next door. Ooh, do we get to see Kuze-san? The cool night air chilled me to the bone. Helped in part by how silly I looked holding this pan, I quickly rang the neighboring house's doorbell. There was no reply. I rang the bell once more. Yet again, no reply. My god, this is so weird for me to say, Mr. Kuze. I will say Kuze-san. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, translators. For my third attempt, I tried calling out to him. His house was fairly soundproof. I couldn't hear the chime, at least. He had the entire building to himself, so it would take a bit for him to come out, but... Did he die? The door opened as I began to ponder.
はい。お、レンジじゃないか。
He looked half asleep at first, but opened his eyes all the way as soon as he recognized me. I haven't seen you in a while.
相変わらず小さいな。ちゃんと飯食ってるか？
That's the first thing you say to me after 3 months?
いつものお裾分け？
From my mother, as always. This exchange had become a custom of ours. He munched food off us because he was worried about cutting his fingers when using a knife.
ありがたや、ありがたや。今日のおかずは何かな？
A smile floated to his face. He looked like a hungry child, or maybe a fat Buddha. I didn't know what most musicians were like, but the one I knew was indifferent to both royalty and common folk. There was the possibility that he was affiliated with the Stereotype Destruction Committee. Is that a thing? Could I come in? I had been looking forward to hearing about his unusual adventures and activities overseas when we met again. Maybe it would be a good idea to talk to him about my career choice as well. After all, he was a person who made his dreams come true.
ん？別に俺は構わないんだけど、服を着ていない女性がベッドにいることをレンジが気にしないのな。
That's a lie. Forget I asked.
追い出すわけじゃないよ。本当にうちらは気にしないから。
But I do.
まあ、そうやね。
Next time, let me hear all about it.
ベッドの中の話を？
Not that.
しばらくは忙しいから、顔を出せるときにこっちから土産と土産話を持ってくよ。
See, he understood what Renji meant. He smiled.
レンジの家では本当にゆっくりしたいからさ。
Well, when you're finished with the pot, just leave it outside our place as usual.
ありがとう。
There was a superficial but sincere ring to what he said. Such a subtle nuance was very adult, or perhaps it was cool.
なあ、ところで聞いてくれよレンジ。傑作な話が一つあるんだ。
He leaned on the side of the doorway and crossed his arms. His demeanor was charming no matter the audience, as long as he wasn't talking.
この前、海外の友人が日本に行くというので、何に気をつければいいかと聞かれたんだ。そこで言ってやったのさ、ジョニー。
Huh? I'm not Johnny.
日本ではまだ侍が馬でかけているから引かれないように注意しろって。もちろんジョークだったのに真顔で分かったと言われちまったさ。どうなってるのかね、世の中は。
Ah, Kuze-san. I don't really want to ask, but did you correct him afterwards just to make sure? I'd been let in on a very unfunny joke.
こんな面白いネタ訂正するわけないじゃないか。笑わないように必死だったよ俺は。
Please don't make us look bad like that.
おやすみレンジ。いい夢を。
Welcome home, Mr. Kuze. Okay, that sounds weird. Welcome home, Kuze-san. I don't know why for his name it just sounds weird. Or maybe it's the Mr. that's just really clashes. Because I feel no problem saying Misama Mia when I talk about, or when I read about Yuko. But there's something there that just like doesn't really mesh in my head. We exchanged a handshake. The following Saturday, school was on break, so I took my time and left once the world had warmed up. I wonder where I should go. Though I muttered that, I already knew where I was heading. Of course you did. There was no need to go out on such a cold day without a reason. It would be far more worthwhile to be reading or playing games in my room, enjoying coffee and cookies.
いえ、またねです。
I recalled the girl who waved to me so awkwardly. She was so cute. Although I felt somewhat embarrassed, I was happy. I wonder if she'll be there again today. I walked along the road to the station. The weather was pleasant. Aww. Chihiro was there, as I expected. The all too unchanged spectacle before me left me wondering if time had stood still since yesterday. She hadn't moved. If not for the fluttering of her hair and skirt, I would have thought I was looking at a picture. On the one hand, I could sense the fragility of her existence, but on the other, I also got a bizarre, oppressive feeling from her. What I was describing was probably uncertainty. It was built upon a miraculous balance, yet it could shatter both her and the world around her with the most minuscule disturbance. As I thought about such cryptic things, she seemed to take notice of me and slowly looked in my direction. It was like she was following a script. Without so much as a greeting, she gazed at me with her lone eye. What were you looking at?
何も見ていませんでしたけど。
The sky?
あ、
She said that just like the first time she had noticed me, and tilted her head once more.
そうですね。空を見ていました。
Are you okay? I felt an impulse to wave to the somewhat emotionless girl before me, but I stopped in my tracks.
大丈夫って何がですか？
You seem somehow different from yesterday.
昨日。
Her face grew dark as soon as the word escaped her lips.
もしかして麻生さんでしょうか？
Hmm? Yeah, I am. She didn't realize that? Did I leave that weak of an impression? What?
昨日のまたね。
What about yesterday? Sorry, could you say that again?
またね。
Oh, Chihiro, don't cry. I'm gonna cry too. I couldn't tell if she was done speaking or not, but then she suddenly clutched at my collar, nearly knocking me over in the process. Why was she hugging me? No, it was a little different from hugging, but she was too close. What should I do? I panicked due to this abrupt development. Chihiro, what's wrong?
そうじゃなくて違うんです。
I believe she was elated, but her nose sounded stuffy. It sounded more like crying.
違うの。私なんで違うんです。これは違う。
Different. Hold back the waterworks, Nagisa. You need to keep wondering about it for the cold. Well, I appreciate the nickname, but it's okay. I have both water and tea at my disposal. Let me take a bit more tea before it goes cold. I've been drinking buckets these days, trust me. It's alright. A few tears are not gonna put a dent in that. Yeah, there it is. Different. What's wrong? I spoke softly, hoping not to surprise her.
大丈夫です。ごめんなさい。気にしないでください。
She shook her head as she clung to me. She didn't seem okay at all, and it wasn't possible to not worry about her. I didn't get it. I didn't know how to deal with a girl who had suddenly burst into tears. But you don't have to hold back. I placed my hand on her head. Oh, this is so cute. My heart is so warm right now. I love them to pieces. I couldn't abandon a crying girl. Tears spill moisture combined with body waste in order to relieve stress. No, that's not quite it. What was I doing spouting off something I had read in a book at a time like this? Well, I don't really understand what's going on, but you can just cry until you feel better. If you hold back, it'll just build up inside you.
内側
In your heart, perhaps? I managed to spit out something rather awkward. Mom once said that to me. I tried to smile, just like she had. There are times when you have to be strong and endure the tears, but there are also times when you should shed them. She had no reply. Unable to even raise her head, her shoulders began to tremble. If I moved even a little, she might lose her grip and fall. She was leaning on me that weakly. Aww. Like a broken dam, the weeping escaped her throat. I couldn't comprehend why she was crying. It broke my heart to hear it. But I didn't have the privilege of covering my ears after I had told her that it was okay.
ごめんなさい
Drop by drop, her teardrops reminded me of an evening shower in the dead of summer. I wondered if she had finally calmed down. Although she had stopped crying, she was still sniffling. Her voice sounded a bit off too. Are you alright?
はいごめんなさいです
I took a step back and peered at her face to see if she really looked okay. Let's see. Her eye was still damp. Was it okay to leave her like that? Perhaps it was because she had been too calm to begin with, but she was standing perfectly still, wearing a face far too composed to belong to someone who had just finished crying.
失礼しました
It's fine. Here, have a tissue. I gave her a tissue I had gotten whilst shopping one day.
どうもできれば後ろを向いていていただければ
Aww. Oh, of course. With a bitter smile, I turned around and gave her a little space. I walked out to a pillar about 20 meters away and repeated Marco Polo in my head 4 times before returning.
本当にすみませんでしたいろいろ
Yet here I am, just blowing my nose right in front of you guys.
I'm trying my best to just do it like lightly, but enough to actually help. It's fine, it's fine. Even if she apologized, I didn't understand what was going on. Well, in the end, being hugged by a girl was a pleasant experience. Do you need some more time?
いえ
Did someone pick on you, or did something bad happen?
違うんです全然そういうことじゃなくて
Really? If it's difficult to talk about, don't worry about it.
いいんですか
Would you like me to listen, then?
いいえ
She shook her head. Though she denied it, she looked at me with upturned eyes as though asking for something. She looked and sounded calm, but was still acting childish.
どうして麻生さんは今日こちらへ来たのですか
Huh? That was a sudden question. I couldn't say to her face that I came to see her. Ooh. I guess it just kind of happened.
そうですよね
Her whisper was accompanied by a sad expression.
ごめんなさい嬉しくてつい勘違いをしてしまいました
Man, you should have said the truth. Now you made her feel bad. What do you... Huh? I was about to ask again, but suddenly the meaning behind this conversation became apparent. She burst out crying because she was happy to see me? What was that about? It didn't seem like something to get so happy about that you'd cry over it in the slightest.
すみません本当に忘れてください
I didn't get it. Hadn't we just started talking a while ago? Were there some special circumstances or something? Nothing made sense. Was I just inexperienced at associating with girls? No, that probably wasn't it. No matter how you looked at it, hugging a guy you barely know was kind of... I sighed without realizing it.
どうしました？
It's just difficult to engage in a conversation that resembles something out of a novel. With a grimace, I told her what I was really thinking. Good boy. You do that. Talking to a girl had me all invigorated, but we had been so completely out of sync that things had turned rather serious.
小説
Huh?
小説お好きなんですか？
Yeah, but they're more like a new addition to the 3 basic human drives.
そうなんですか。
Okay.
そうか。
What's wrong?
私も本が好きなので嬉しくて。
Chihiro brought her hands to her mouth as she
麻
smiled.
生さんが来るまで本を読んでいたんです。ここは静かでいいところですね。
It felt like she was still too tense, but she seemed to be speaking at a normal pace again. So, what kind of books do you read? I asked casually, trying not to reveal my excitement.
いろいろです。時間だけはいっぱいあるので。
What about recently?
最近というか、ほとんど女の子向けのものなので、わかるかどうか。
I suppose not.
麻生さんはどんなものを？
Oh, she's so cute. I'm an omnivore. I'll read anything regardless of genre. I folded my arms and thought about it. They've become more popular lately, but I've liked traditional fantasy for a while.
それは童話ですか？
No, I mean those books that are often in the corner of bookstores lately. The ones with magicians and demons as their themes. I like them, so I wish everyone would read them. But I'd also be a little disappointed that they've become more mainstream. I chuckled and shrugged. These were the difficult sentiments that arose from a fan's mentality.
そうなんですか。
She nodded, but didn't seem to get it. I didn't know what girls were interested in, but I tried to line up what genres would be prominent. Then there are mysteries. I am more into American novels, but Japanese light novels and historical novels are good too. The Wizard of Oz and Earthsea are 2 of my... Wait, what's happening there? What is it?
いえ、本当に本が好きなんだなって。
Oh, yeah. Her pointing it out again made me a bit embarrassed. Hey, Infinity N? Am I saying that right? Welcome to the chat. I have played in the past Steins Gate, Clannad, and well, also the short stories for Clannad and Tomoyo After, if you count those as different novels. And now we are doing F. I just finished the first tale last week, and now this is the first part of the latter tale. But talking about our hobbies was fun. I guess I'm a bibliophile. I usually have a book in my pocket. But I don't have one on me right now, so I feel a bit off.
それは猫さんのヒゲみたいですね。
Ah, I get it. It helps with balance.
はい、かわいいです。
Oh, yes, adorable. She giggled. With that, I was finally relieved. I had no idea why she had cried, but right now she just seemed like an ordinary girl. Once again, silence enveloped us. But this time it was pleasant. I gazed at her with my 2 eyes, and she gazed at me with her uncovered eye.
麻生さん、一つお願いがあるのですが、いいでしょうか？
Could I say something first?
はい、どうぞ。
Well, I'm not trying to criticize you, but you don't have to ask permission for everything.
私、
Yeah, you
そんな
do.
ですか？
You do, lovely. We're too reserved, so we both come across as awkward. I smiled so I wouldn't seem too harsh. Let's answer if we want to, and if we don't, we can just say so.
そうですね。わかりました。努力してみます。
Is that an acronym for something, or is that just the title? She sighed as her smile vanished.
それでも、
White album too.
これ
Okay.
はお願いなので、 お断りを入れないといけないのですが。
Thank you for the recommendation. I will look it up. I've never heard of it, so just the title itself doesn't say anything to me right now. Apologies for that.
私と友達になっていただけませんか？
My heart. Friends?
はい。
Oh, her nod was filled with a powerful determination. She's filled with determination. Hell yes. She looked quite tense. Her body was fainting. Hi. Sorry. English. Faintly swaying. She wanted us to be friends. It wasn't a joke. She was being very sincere and direct. Oh, all right. Yeah, no, I don't know it at all. But again, thank you so much for the suggestion, Clinton, as well. I will definitely look it up, see what it is about. I do have already something planned after F, but you know, who knows? I do like this kind of stories, so the more we get to experience, the better. Oh, that's not it. I was just a little surprised. Due to my father's work, I move a lot. To be honest, I'm really bad at making friends. That's why I did nothing but read books. I wasn't used to talking to people at all. Okay, I can jump straight into 2. That clarifies stuff. Thank you, thank you. Is it still okay?
それだと私も友達にしたくなるような人間ではないと思います。
Sadness. Oh.
何か面白いことができたり話せるわけじゃないし、いろいろあって。
That's the same as me.
でも私。
She choked on her words. Like a goldfish looking for oxygen, she was gasping, unable to speak. She probably had a reason for crying earlier. Don't worry. They're all artists. No one's a filthy electrician. Feels kind of biased. You're right, though. I had not drawn that conclusion, but you're right. They're all doing something. Yeah, wow. But Renji is the artist of words in my book. Like, the narration from Kyosuke and man, what's his face? Why am I forgetting his name right now? Yeah, the other protagonist that we had. It doesn't come close to Renji's poetic way of putting things. I'm quite enjoying this, and I think I'm gonna be sad when we have to move on. The anime just covers the first part of the novel. If you liked it, I would check out the VN. Okay. Good to know. I gently nodded. All the more reason we should become friends. It might be a really good idea.
だからこそですか?
Hiro. Hiro was the other guy. Hirono. There we go. Name. I remembered. Yeah, things you couldn't let others hear, you can let your friends hear, right?
はい。そうですね。ありがとうございます。
She gradually lifted her face.
麻生さんって優しいですね。
You're cute, so it's easy to be kind to someone as cute as you. Before I knew it, she was leaning against me.
どうしました?
Nothing.
はあ。
As usual, she tilted her head and sighed. I was surprised. Although I knew it was a casual assessment on her part, I became aware that my cheeks were burning. And... was that it? No, I understood one more thing. This might be that thing known as love at first sight. If I thought about it, that day might have been our true first encounter. Call it youthful indiscretion, but I liked her. I liked her the same way I liked stories. Oh. Yes, please tell me more. I yearned for the unusual. That is why I pursued her. As I grasped towards the unattainable winter sky, I felt as though I might be able to reach it with just a bit more effort. It was the kind of day where such a delusion could occur. Well, we stuck to that safe topic of conversation until it was time to close the front curtain, ending the scene. She said she wanted to stay a bit longer, so I left the station first. And yet the diary continued. It projected the side of her I didn't know. Man, so sorry
また
about this.
ねという言葉を残して麻生さんは去っていった。
I hope next time it's not gonna be like this and it's just today.
私はそれを見送ってからベンチに座って手帳に記録を残した。すぐに帰らなかったのは自分が感じたことを劣化する前に書き留めておきたかったから。今日の嬉しかったことを、なるべく多くの良かったことを記録しておく。いつの間にか日が暮れていた。字が読みづらくなったことでそれに気づいた。そろそろ門限の時刻だろう。私は手帳をしまって駅を出た。駅前の広場を抜けて商店街に出る。夕飯の買い物客や仕事帰りの人、これから遊びに行く人。今日はその道を歩くのに顔を上げていられた。いつもは賑やかだからこそ寂しくてうつむいてしまう道。嬉しかった。ベンチに座って何時間も一人でいて、寒さと寂しさに震えていて。でも私はその寂しさを望んでいて、人の多い場所に一人でいるよりは誰もいない場所で一人でいる方がまだマシで。
Embrace your inner
Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard.
でも今日はいっぱいいっぱいお話をした。私はもういなくなってしまった男の子に向けて心の中で一つ頭を下げる。ありがとうございました。誰も聞いていないけれど、遅いけれど、そうしたいから感謝する。昨日の私と約束して今日の私と会ってくれてありがとう。油断している。とても弱い心だ。ダメだ。こんなことで気を許しちゃダメなのに。泣き顔を見られてしまったことを思い出してちょっと恥ずかしくなる。人前で泣いたのなんていつ以来だろう。そんな手の届かないことを考えてしまう。優しい人だよね。ちゃんと私のこと話してあげられればよかったのにね。お姉ちゃん、自分にではなく離れて暮らす姉に向けてつぶやく。そして私は夕暮れの空を見上げた。彼も同じ空を見ているのだろうか。麻生さん、明日も来るかな。いつか私のことを話してみたい。いつか私は笑った。空っぽの笑みだった。麻生さんに答えてあげられない自分がおかしかった。そして教会の前に立つ。寂しい顔を引きずっていかないようにと頬をさすって口元をほぐしてから扉に手をかけた。小さなきしみを残して教会をまたぐ。
楽しかったかい？
祭壇の前に立つ男性が微笑んでいる。私が駅で人と会っていることを知っている人だ。はい、 すごく楽しかったです。
そうか。それならいいけど、無理はしないようにね。
井村さんがちょっと不器用に頭を撫でてくれる。海に行っていたのか、かすかに潮の香りがした。
それと、いや、いい。
続く言葉を閉じて彼は首を振る。何度も言っている言葉なのだろう。今日の私でも覚えている言葉。深入りしないように、深入りさせないように。彼の代わりにつぶやく。
そうだね。言い方はそうじゃないけど。
That's alright.
井村さん。
The bigger the pile of suggestions, the better the titles that we pursue in the future. So that's alright.
なんだい？
私のことを誰かに話してはダメでしょうか？
誰かというのは、千尋が最近話をしている相手のことだね。
はい。
千尋が決めたことなら反対しない。だけど、俺個人での意見なら賛成もしない。
はい。私は笑う。私は後悔もできませんからね。自分を笑う。井村さんがじっと私を見つめている。真摯な目で。優しい目で。
That's all good. No problem here.
それだけの目で。
Oh.
帰ってご飯を食べながらゆっくり話そう。
はい。互いの手を取って私たちは教会を出た。それでは手をつないでお買い物に行きましょう。
Is it just me, or is her voice much louder than all the other characters? Because whenever she appears, I'm like, okay, surprised, loud sound. Sunday afternoon, Mom was singing loudly in place of a rooster. What?
レンジと一緒にお買い物に行きたいな。
Mom twisted about as she brought a finger to her lips. It's times like these that I wondered why she couldn't just act her age. She was my mother, not a child. And she didn't even look old enough for that. Why are you suddenly going shopping? I considered going to the station while I waited for lunch to digest, but decided to ask that fundamental question. She is loud,
特
yeah.
にこれといって目的はないんだけどね。
I don't think I have special... Do I have special configuration for each character? I don't think so. I just have the option to turn voices on or off. I don't want to turn her off. It's just... man. She blows my eardrums. Really now? Were we going to pick out clothes for me? Or was there a sale on eggs and milk? There was no reason to bring me except as a pack mule.
ほら、なんていうのか最近、レンジとのスキンシップが足りないかなと思ったりなんだり。
Oh no, I made her ramble again.
だってね、なんだかレンジったら最近冷たいんだもん。家に帰ってくるのが遅くなってるし、お母さんが話しかけてもなんか上の空だし、逆にニヤニヤしてるのになんでか話してくれないし、一緒にお風呂も入ってくれないし。
We did do that to begin with.
じゃあワイシャツの襟元に口紅の跡が。
What are you talking about?
うわあ、息子に浮気されるかわいそうなお母さん。よよよ。
I ignored that line. Incest jokes.
まさか反抗期？
No, I don't think that's it.
もはや倦怠期？
That doesn't sound right either. Oh, good job on you. That must have felt really good. Wait, sorry, did I? Okay, I read that. I thought it was more of a perhaps than an already, but decided not to provide any additional quips.
じゃあいいよね。
I don't know.
お買い物して、海とか散歩して、夕飯にちょっと雰囲気のいいレストランに行くの。その後もいろいろ。
I don't think it's necessarily her making incest jokes. It's just she wants to spend time with her son, and her husband is away, and she wants to do those activities, right? So she can't do them with her husband, and she wants to do them with her son. And she's a little bit, just a tiny little bit emotionally manipulative right now, being like, "Oh, we could do this and that, and you would make me so happy." Aww. And yeah, but other than that, I don't think it's that far off as you know, actually hinting at incest.
やだもん。
At the very end, she waved her hands up and down like an old lady, but if I said so, she'd probably break out crying. What to do? This was just great. There was no way out of this. I suppose that was the result of being family. We had each other figured out. She knew I wanted to peek into the bookstore, or maybe she was guilt-tripping me into not leaving her all by herself. If I didn't go out with her, it would be assumed that it was a hassle. She seemed to be stressing over this. However, I was going to leave her personality out of it. I knew she was about 70% joking, and about 20% serious. Okay, what's the last 10%? The remaining 10% was composed of some unknown structure, possibly from another dimension. No, I'm sorry, I can't. I have other plans.
どうせ母親なんて都合のいい時だけ頼られて、いざとなったら見捨てられる運命なのね。
Please don't cry.
汗水垂らして育ててあげた恩義も忘れられて。
You can't use that as leverage.
ほら、私たちって恋人じゃない？
Okay, now I see that. Okay. Forget what I said earlier. We're mother and son. Besides, that's rude to dad. Why are you so surprised?
まあ、怒ったレンジもかっこいい。
Huh. I could only sigh. No good. I couldn't surrender. Waving a white flag would be like an army graciously leaping into a massacre. This must be the mental state of one trying to teach a foreign, extraterrestrial, Paquera Sera, I have no idea what that is, arbitrarily named, starting from a basic notion. No, I couldn't be broken here. I had to endure this fierce attack and get to the station. Really though, I'm not joking, I have something to take care of. Mom looked at me.
用事？
Yeah.
何か今日ありましたっけ？
She murmured with a composed expression. Had her method of attack changed? I averted my eyes and shook my head so she wouldn't get the better of me. I promised someone. It's a prior engagement.
果たし合い？
Let's see. I don't want to continue this random quibbling, but yeah.
え？
She shook her head to and fro like she really didn't get it. Then her eyes opened wide, like she just encountered a difficult math problem.
お友達ができたの？
Something like that.
あらやだ。お赤飯炊かなきゃ。
Ooh, what is that? That sounds interesting. Sorry, it's about time for me to leave.
あ、本当に用事なんだ。
Did she finally believe me?
そうならそうと言ってくれればいいのに。
He did just say so. I said so from the start.
はいはい。それなら行ってらっしゃい。ちゃんと夕飯までには帰ってくるんだよ。知らない人についていっちゃダメね。バイビー。
She smiled as though it was nothing and retreated to her room. Ah, I knew it. She ran away before she started complaining. Oh? I thought the conversation with Mom lasted quite a while, but Chihiro wasn't at the station. My stroll towards the station was deliberate, but there was still nobody here. What should I do? Was I early? Has she already gone home, or was she not coming today? No, she said that she would. There's probably a she missing there. She said she would probably come. Probably. Oh well. This time I would be the one sitting on the bench waiting. I took a book out of my coat pocket. Then I opened to the page I bookmarked. Oh. Hello. I sensed someone and looked up. The princess's face was in front of me.
こんにちは。
Good afternoon. We both bowed politely. For a moment, I wondered if it would be okay to kiss like this. I wondered what made me think that. The timing, no. Was this youthful indiscretion again? You were late today, huh? I shook off those idiotic thoughts and stood up, sticking my book back in my pocket.
いえ、ちょっと前からいました。
Since when?
15分ほど前に。
You should have called out to me.
読書の邪魔をしてはいけないかなと思いまして。
Aww. She's so cute and considerate. She spoke with no emotion, like the first time we met. It was better than suddenly bursting into tears, but was she in a bad mood today? Seems like you got here later than usual, though. Did you have something to do?
お昼の後に読書をしていたらいつの間にか。
Same as me, huh? What were you reading?
それは、なんというか。
Hmm?
つまらない本です。
Oh. She asserted herself with a sharp look. Without a doubt, she had prepared that line. I'd go so far as to certify that as a lie. You were that enthusiastic over a boring book?
いえ、熱中というか。
Is it a girl-oriented type?
そうではなくて、そういうものかもしれないのですが。
Oh. I can feel her pain and awkwardness and difficulty, especially when you know what the context behind it is. It's just, oh, it pains me. But at the same time, she's so cute. I just want to hug her. Oh. I didn't know if I pinpointed it, but she seemed troubled. She almost sounded embarrassed to say it. Well, thanks to prior experience, I had an idea of what it was. I could tell it was something serious when she looked troubled and something enjoyable when she looked cute. It's something you can't tell your friend?
それは。
Oh, that's pretty
麻
nice.
生さんは友達ですが。
Hope you enjoy Clannad. But?
意地悪です。
Oh. She was cute even when she was mad. I thought of an extremely cliched setting where a treasured sword is drawn, but being able to see this expression of hers was very satisfying. A little bit of a parallel to her sister, because Kyosuke also was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute when she gets angry.
わかりました。これは話しても大丈夫なことです。でも他の人には秘密なことです。神に誓ってください。絶対にです。
What?
なんでこんな話になったのでしょうか。
For a second I thought it was his line. My bad. Ah! No, it's alright. If they want to play, they should just play it. Nothing compares to your own experience of it, like the ability to make your own choices and so on. It's okay. I won't tell anyone, I promise.
わかりました。
Oh man, she's so serious.
私が読んでいたのは、実は読んでいたんじゃなくて、それが、つまり読む方ではなくですね。
Huh? Were you writing a novel?
ものすごく意地悪です。
This is teasing? I let out a breath of admiration without realizing it. I didn't think anyone would be similar enough to me to want to write a novel, so I was surprised. Really, that's amazing. Can I read it sometime? Beatrice with the plug. Thank you so much.
絶対にお断りします。
Yes, that is also one aspect. Yeah. Okay, but wow, a novel.
とても嫌な反応です。
No, it's just a bit...
ちょっと嫌な反応ですか？
No, I was just thinking of writing one myself. I recalled my conversation with Miss... for him it also sounds weird. Himura-san. The day before yesterday.
麻生さんも小説を書いているのですか？
Just thinking about it. I shrugged with a bitter smile. They gave us a career survey at school. I had to choose something, so I thought being a novelist would be nice.
そうなんですか。
Well, I'm still unsure.
いいと思います。すごく。
Mm-hmm. She smiled calmly. You think?
はい。私は麻生さんの書くお話がどんなものか気になります。
I was thinking the same about yours.
それは気にしてはいけません。
Really?
はい。今後一切触れてもいけません。墓の下でも地獄でも黙秘してください。
Oh, so cute. Was it that big of a deal? Exactly what kind of story was she writing? Choosing a career is difficult. I leaned on a nearby pillar and sighed. It was difficult to become what she wanted to be.
そうですか？
You don't think so?
好きなことをするのが一番だと思いますが。
That's true. I had to smile at a response so naive yet genuine. Why couldn't I respond with that kind of honesty? Did I only give up on what I liked out of fear? I had to keep on living even if I bore a fatal wound. The process of dying is more frightening than death itself. That's true. Oh man. What do you want to become, Chihiro? I realized I had just asked a pointless question. But it was too late to take it back.
私は
I would have found it very interesting if she had responded with a bride.
何になれるかわかりませんけど、夢があります。
A dream.
麻生さんみたいに小説家になりたいんじゃなくて、ただ物語が書きたいです。何か一つでも今の自分で作り上げたいんです。
I see. It was an ambiguous wish, so there wasn't much of an impression. Even so, I smiled and nodded. If it's you, I think you can do it.
そうでしょうか。
Yeah, you probably can't rely on that even if I guarantee it, though.
そんなことありません。ありがとうございます。
She smiled.
そう言っていただけるだけで嬉しいです。
It was late, so our conversation wasn't lengthy. We left the station together as the sun began to set. Come to think of it, this is my first time being with you outside of the station.
そう言われればそうですね。
seems kind of
く
strange.
すぐったいですね。
Mhm. I nodded with a grin, and Chihiro peered right at my face. What's wrong?
ちょっと気になっていたのですが、麻生さんは
A moment's hesitation and...
女の子じゃないですよね。
What? A traumatic blow. She looked up at me with pure eyes. I couldn't tell if she was aware of my suffering or not. I'm a guy.
すみません。
She blushed and looked away. I brushed my cheek and crooked my lips. Well, I'm half Japanese.
ハーフ？
My father is German. He's a construction specialist who works in architecture engineering, so he's rarely home.
すごいです。
She was impressed. Anyway, I have school again tomorrow. Talking about my family was embarrassing, so I changed the subject.
そういえば、明日は月曜日なんですね。
I don't want to go.
行きたくないんですか？
I don't hate school, but well, my next thought was difficult to put into words.
学校か。
Oh, right. Sorry for bringing it up.
いえ、いいんです。それは誰のせいでもないので。
She gently shook her head.
話を聞い
Germans
てる
again.
のが楽しいんです。
What's
学校
wrong
の
with
話
Germans?
いけないので、むしろ。今日はこんなことがあったよって、そんな普通のことでも楽しそうに話をしてくれると、聞いている私も嬉しくなります。
Does someone tell you these kinds of stories? I could somehow tell from the way she said it.
姉が音羽の学生なんです。私と違ってちゃんと学校に行っているので。
Ah, I see.
今は2年生になっているはずです。ケイって言うんですけど。
Wait. I inclined my head. Didn't I hear that name somewhere before? It wouldn't be unusual if she were in the same year as me, but higher grades were an unknown territory. I thought for a moment, but nothing came to mind. What's your last name?
あれ？言ってませんでしたっけ？
No, you didn't.
失礼しました。新藤です。新藤千尋。姉と私は双子なんです。だから名字だと区別がつかなくて、名前で呼んでもらうのが普通だったので、言いそびれてました。
Chihiro smiled. Judging from the look on her face, she probably had a lot of faith in her sister. Twins sure are rare.
よく言われます。でも性格は正反対で、お姉ちゃんは止まると死んじゃう動物みたいなんですよ。
That's a good description of Kay. When was the last time you saw someone French Japanese stories? Every story has a German though. Alright, I guess. Now that you're pointing that out, I'm just thinking of random German. Or, yeah, German affiliated characters. Not necessarily, you know, purely German, but you're right, there's a lot of them. You're twins.
Hi.
We stared at each other like we were senile. That means you're a year older than me.
はい。そのはずなんですよね。
Ah, I see. Oh no. This was bad. I was under the impression that she was younger. I had been addressing her casually and acting as though I was older. Why was I surrounded by women who looked and acted much younger than their actual age? Should I call you Miss Shindo from now on? I suddenly felt self-conscious about the way I was acting.
千尋でいいですけど。
She just told you, man. They don't prefer being called by name. Sorry, by the last name because it's confusing. So they've always had people call them by their first names, and that's what she's used to, so just call her that. If that's the name she gave you. That's fine. Oh, there's reference to Dracula in anime. So I guess we have that covered in a sense. You two are super cute.
そ
Really?
っちの方が慣れてますから
Yeah, see? Okay, this isn't really a favor or anything, but could you call me by my first name as well?
でも
I'm younger, after all. Feebly, I told it as it was.
ではレンジさんでいいでしょうか
They left the sun in here. Why did they switch it to a Mr. in the other names? Just to, like, stress me out. Couldn't they have just left it as it is? It's perfectly fine. Sun is too formal. Why not kun? Oh yeah, that's why they left it, because they wouldn't have been able to properly translate this, because there's no equivalent. Go figure.
それは私が恥ずかしいのですが
Oh, precious sir. I'm younger than you.
そうですけどどうして急に名前なんて
Well, in any case, we're friends.
はあわかりました
Finally, not a cough, but a yawn. Oh wow.
では
That's new.
これからはレンジ君で行きます
Though it was a thorough declaration, she still seemed to be marveling at it.
レンジ君
No.
レンジ君レンジ君
Oh, so cute.
レンジ君変な感じです
It does. It was quite embarrassing.
私はこっちなので
We left the downtown core and came to an intersection. Chihiro pointed the other way. She seemed to live in the same direction as the church. Alright, see you.
はいさようなら
You too. We waved goodbye to each other. I was about to leave, feeling that I would have no regrets.
レンジ君
Oh, that was such a jolt. Oh, precious her, bless her heart. I looked over to find that Chihiro was standing still in the middle of the road. The sun was setting. Her shadow grew long in the orange glow of the fading sun. What's wrong?
私は私
Chihiro?
いえ何でもありません
I wondered what she wanted to say. Was it the reason she couldn't go to school, or the reason she was crying? Whatever it was, I couldn't ask. Hmm? I'd be a funny creature. Funny creatures are like the most adorable things. Like just like invented animals that don't actually exist in the world with like intricate cute designs that just like tug at your heartstring. Yes, please. Whatever it was, I couldn't ask.
さようなら
Oh, Chihiro. Her shadow swayed. She looked and sounded happy, but I had a feeling that it would be bad to let her go like this. Yes, but like boars also kind of exist as well, even though obviously a regular boar wouldn't behave the way Botan did. Like he was a bit above average in intelligence and understanding and behavior. Yeah, oh, the manifest is just meant as a person. Okay, okay. You said creature, so that confused us. She looked and sounded happy, but I had a feeling that it would be bad to let her go like this. Chihiro, I called out to her.
はい
See you tomorrow.
明日
We should hang out again. Well, only if you want to. I'll come to the station after school. We had been saying that we'd see each other again, but this time it was a real promise. Oh man.
明日いいのでしょうか
I think so.
また明日、駅で。
People are creatures? Sure, but it's when you hear the word creature, people is not the first thing you think about, even though, yes, people are animals too. That's all. My apologies. To be fair, I gave you the role of a cute invented creature, okay? At least there's that. Yeah, that's alright, that's alright. Chihiro turned on her heel. Her shadow trailed far behind her as she jogged off. Were things fine like this? What was fine? Tomorrow. I dropped my raised hand, hung my head for a moment, and gazed at my own shadow. Guess I'll go home. I lifted my head.
ああ、いいな。俺もあの青春の日々に帰りたいな。
お前はあの頃から何も変わってないと思うんだ
I
けどな。
love them two together. They have such a fun dynamic. Oh my god. Okay, let's enjoy this. Alright, cool. Glad things are alright for everybody. When I turned around, two acquaintances stood in the way. The background music is also like pinpoint accurate for this vibe. Perfect.
いやいや、今こうなんだ、青春よりも駆け引きって感じでさ、バイオリニストって肩書きだけで近寄ってくるのとか混ざってるし。
やっぱり変わってないと思うんだが。
どこが？昔はもっと青臭い感じだっただろ？
朱に交わって赤のその核になる朱色だったと思うが。
じゃあ俺が隊長か？
なんだそれ。
朱に交わって赤いからレッドだ。
お前は黄色だな。なんつうかカレーだ。
I cut into their conversation and that sounded like a banter between a married couple. They looked at me like they had just realized I was there. How long have you guys been here?
3分くらい前かな。
そしてレンジ、お前はピンクだ。
もうそこから離れろ。
You two know each other? I ignored their chatter and inquired. Kuze-san nodded.
両党なんだ。
腐れ縁だ。というか、お前は本気で黙ってろ。
わかったよ。そうカリカリしなさんなって。
Kuze-san seemed to be used to taking it. They really did appear to be friends. It was an unexpected association, to say the least. Are you doing something right now? I changed the subject myself before they could divert it again, and asked a more fundamental question.
ああ、そうだ。大したことじゃないんだけどな。
Himura-san squinted and looked down the road that Chihiro took.
駅であいつと会ってるのはお前だったのか。
Ooh. What do you mean? Were they connected somehow?
ただのおせっかいさ。
Kuze-san spoke coolly.
わかった。お前の相手はちゃんと後でしてやるから。
優しくしてね。
Oh, did I forget to mute my I forgot to mute my browser. Sorry about that. There was an email notification. Not gonna happen again. There we go. Oh, from the manifested part. Okay, I see what you mean. Interesting connection there. I wouldn't have thought about it.
そういうことじゃねえだろう。もう俺は帰る。
Ah, use space. Jesus Christ. Himura-san. I called out to him as he tried to leave. Chihiro. And the words stopped coming to me. I had a lot I wanted to ask. Questions about Chihiro. How they were related. Just how Himura-san... who Himura-san was. But I lacked the courage. He faced me, looking over his shoulder. In his eyes was a mixture of kindness, pity, and animosity. He possessed a solemnness similar to the ambience of the church.
千尋のそばにいたいなら 覚悟しろ。
Hmm. He spoke with a tone befitting one who preached the word of God, then turned his back to me.
俺は今回だけはお前みたいなやつが早めに逃げてくれた方がいいと思っている。
Hmm. I didn't know the significance of that statement. Up until then, my days had been ordinary and meaningless. They were like an unchanging gear repeating the same action. If I flipped to the next page, the world would change, like Alice falling through the rabbit hole in a nook of the garden, like slipping through the looking glass. This and that. The day we stepped across that boundary, it seemed like nothing had changed. But something did. On a day when nothing was different, I began to discover the meaning of Himura-san's advice. I began to learn her secret. I began to regret it. Oh, the shivers. Jeez.
麻生蓮司さんは私よりも一つ年下の学生。
Oh man, that's a little bit up there. She seems cool to me. Definitely not deranged. Not in search of vengeance or whatever.
だからこの時間は学校にいるのだろうと私は午前10時を示す時計を見ながら考える。つまり姉も同じように勉強していることだろう。私だけがぼんやりと部屋に立ち尽くしている。どれだけ辛くてもどれだけ楽しくても
Oh, sorry. Whatever, okay. I scrolled too
なん
fast.
となく秒針が一周するのを待って時計から視線をそらした。私の部屋だ。かつては私たちの部屋だったはずだが今姉はいない。空気は寒々としているくせによどんでいる。少し気だるい。お腹を押さえて今月のものが来たのかなと憂鬱になった。そうやって部屋を見渡した後、私は自分の体を見下ろした。手足、肩、胸、腰、頬、耳、髪、何度も何度も。それは確認というより点検という言葉がしっくりくる作業だった。最後に手首の裏側に目をやる。自分でも白すぎると思う肌に青い血管が透けていた。ちょっと重いな。声がうつろに響く。
Oh, you're not a big fan of Fate then, oddly manifested.
私自身が知っている体よりも幾分か成長している。そうやって記憶と現実の配線を一つずつ結びつけていく。ショートしないように慎重に。何か不安なものを覚えたら手帳を読んで気を落ち着かせる。日課として毎朝2時間以上をかけて読み返す手帳。ここしばらくは麻生蓮司さんが関わった記述が多かった。とりわけおとといの日記は自分で読んでいても恥ずかしいほど文字が躍っていた。たかが再会を果たしただけで泣いてしまうだなんて。しかし 昨日の別れ際の約束を喜んでいる。今日の私がいることも事実だった。また明日。その言葉が指し示しているのは未来だ。私が失ったものは、お姉ちゃんやヒロお兄さんと一緒にいる時間。みんなと学校に行ったりする楽しさ。当たり前のことができる幸せ。そんな傷を埋め合わせるために、私はレンジ君を求めているのだろうか。どうなのかな、お姉ちゃん。私はパソコンの前に座り、メールソフトを立ち上げた。昨日の夜、離れて暮らしている姉に送ったメールへの返信が、千尋へ、元気にしていますかって毎日聞いてるから最近元気なのは知ってるけど、今日になって元気じゃないかもしれないからね。千尋は体があんまり丈夫じゃないんだし、無理はしないように。まあ私の方は相変わらずってところね。今はバスケもできないしのんびりしてるわ。それで千尋のメールに書いてあったことだけど、麻生蓮司さんって人に自分のことを話してもいいかどうか迷ってるみたいね。お互いの近況を伝えるやりとりの中で、私は姉にもどうすればいいか意見を求めていた。そして次の言葉を目にしたとき、かすかな寂しさを覚えた。いや、私はその言葉が欲しくて姉に問いかけをしたのかもしれない。
Isn't Avenger also the thing that causes all things to go haywire in Heaven's Feel? Although I do understand that there's... Oops, sorry. Did I mess anything up? I accidentally unmaximized the window. But I think it's fine.
「正直に言うとね、私は反対。千尋のメールに書いてあった麻生さんって人は悪い人じゃないと思う。それでもどういう結果になっても最後には千尋が傷つくことになると思うから、千尋が悲しい思いをするのは私は嫌だから。だけどね、いつもならそれで終わるはずの姉の言葉に今日は続きがあった。反対する気持ちとは逆に、それじゃいけないって思いもあるの。ずっと立ち止まっていれば確かに傷つくことはないかもしれない。
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
でもそれじゃあ本当の意味での喜びや達成感に近づくこともできないんじゃないかって。
Exactly. Constantly avoiding hurt also makes you constantly avoid happiness in a way. So
何の保証もない考えだけど、そうも思うの。私は少し驚いていた。ここ最近どこか沈んだ雰囲気で口数の少なかった姉のメールが今日は踊っていた。こういう考えって無意味に前向きな先輩につきまとわれてる影響かもしれないわね。そうそう、その人に誘われてなんと私が主演の映画を撮ることになったのよ。まあ主演って言っても登場人物は私だけだし、ストーリーもないっていう考えられないものなんだけどね。これが前に進んでいるってことなのかはわからない。でもそういう変化が楽しいって感じてる。だから 私には何が正しいかわからないし、偉そうなことも言えないけど、これだけは心の底から言えるわ。私は、千尋には幸せになってほしい。最後に選ぶのは千尋だから、後悔だけはしないように。それじゃ、またね。千尋には幸せになってほしい。その返信の中の一文を二度読み返す。文字で思いを伝えることなんて得意じゃないはずの姉が
Aww, so
不器用に
cute.
送ってくれた優しさ。しかし私の幸せ、私の夢、それが何なのか、私自身うまく思い浮かべることができない。でもいいな、そのメールが教えてくれた変化、可能性という言葉は輝いて見えた。いいな。
Mm-hmm. Aww. Alright, it was lunchtime. We'll do a scene or something like that. 10 minutes more. And I think that's a good spot to end it, time-wise, at least for me, because I'm getting tired. But this is so exciting. I love it. I'm so happy to be at this part of the story. Also, that food looks amazing. Like, oh my god. Like, hello. I would love to have that kind of lunch every day. In the bustling classroom, I retrieved my lunchbox from my bag. Time to eat. It was a lunchbox containing the usual remnants of breakfast and other leftovers. Unlike in the summer, I could happily make whatever I wanted with little hassle during the winter. I avoided anything heavy today, so the recipe focused on cool yet delicious vegetable stir-fry and egg dishes. Pretty good, I'd say. Licking my lips in the face of my cooking, I spent my lunchtime quietly. The true way, first read the VN, yeah. I am also someone who has done it not the true way, so... Oops. Yes, there is. There should be one right under the stream. There's a join our Discord thing. You can click on it. It should work. I don't think the invite expired. I made it available at all times. Yeah, it's there. It should be It should be working. Yes, I know, right? I am also kind of hungry because I tried not to eat too much for dinner, but now I'm like, I'm in the mood for a little snack, for sure, before I go to bed. Like a little something. An apple or something. At least. It's not the delicious thing that he's eating, but, you know, at least it's something so my stomach stops complaining. I sighed amidst the clatter. Is it hopeless? I closed my eyes and laid my head on the top of my desk. I had tried to have as ordinary a life as possible, but it really was impossible. If I let my guard down, I would find my mind in a state resembling, but not quite entirely, unlike impatience or anxiety. Running away. If I wanted my life to be normal, I couldn't use that option. The Reaper-like presence of Himura-san floated to the inside of my mind. Reaper-like? Really? In a way, that sort of thing fit him far too well. Before my imagination could go wild, my mind wandered toward other thoughts. A novel, huh? Did I really want to write one? So, by chasing after things with no foothold in reality, wasn't I just a laughable existence? Well, you won't know unless you try, and when better to try than when you're a teenager with no obligations other than just go to school, right? You don't have rent to pay, you don't have bills to account for, you don't have a family to support. You're just like a teenager being supported. And so, just have at it. See if it works out. If not, try something else. Why make such a big deal out of it? I grasped at the empty air. Careers, dreams, objectives. There was no indication of which I should take hold of. Fifth period was simply agonizing. With the end of 6th period and finally homeroom, I immediately headed for the station. Chihiro was sitting on the bench. She had a mysterious expression as she looked down at her notebook. I had seen her looking troubled before, but this time it was a cute sort of worrying. A challenging expression.
どうしよう。
There was no way she would talk like that, but, well, it held that sort of ambience. I shook off that idiotic delusion. Okay, it was his delusion. Okay, that makes more sense. And dropped in beside her on the bench, but she was so focused that she didn't notice me. Hey there. Normally she'd just greet me, but instead she leapt from the bench and moved aside. She stared at me, sizing me up. Her actions were like a cat that had suddenly been disturbed from its nap.
レンジ君ですか？
Yeah, she answered with a strained expression. I had become accustomed to this pattern. Good afternoon.
こんにちは。
We both quickly bowed our heads. You were really deep in thought. Wasn't it cold sitting still like that?
言われると寒くなります。
Yo, Squid is done with meetings. Good job. Lots of decisions. Now I get some lunch. Hope the story has been fun. Yes, I'm very much enjoying the story. I hope you also enjoy your lunch. Hope you have something delish. And that fills you up with more energy for the rest of the day. When I guess you get to put those decisions in practice, no? Good luck, and enjoy your lunch. Want to go to a shop somewhere and warm up? I hid a smile behind my hand as I spoke.
いえ、ここでいいです。
She brushed her skirt and surveyed the vicinity. I followed her gaze and wondered if there was any need of this station, perpetually empty as it was. Is it scary outside? I wondered why I said that, but she just cast her eyes downward.
はい、
Aww. Ah, I'm sorry.
いいんです。外というか、人がいっぱいいるところが苦手で。
She wore a natural smile. I thought it was a lonely thing to smile at, but couldn't find the words to express that. What do you want to do today? I inquired and waved my hand in order to stave off any gloomy ideas she might have been having. We had never gotten very personal in our conversations, but I had a strong feeling that that would end today.
あの、
She whispered in an increasingly quiet voice.
人の少ないところなら、いいです。
Huh? I inclined my head at her renewed attitude. I thought of the various implications of suddenly being fine going someplace with a few people, but she didn't seem to be in a joking mood. In short, it was okay for us to go somewhere outside the station. Let's see, how about the beach?
いいですね。海。
Her voice didn't really sound all that enthusiastic. But it's so cold there, we'll freeze to death. Well, you suggested it, my man. I gave her an insincere smile and started walking. I pushed the thought of something being different today into the back of my head, having reached the conclusion that it didn't matter. As long as I got to go somewhere with her, I was certain that it would be fun. Having nothing to talk about, we walked through downtown towards the beach in silence. I noticed Chihiro had disappeared from my field of vision, so I stopped walking. I hadn't noticed at the station since all we did was talk, but she kept a rather slow pace. Low-key plugging in our Discord, Beatrice. It's alright. Whether they decide to join or not, it's all good. We can hang out during stream as well, just as fine. Well, hopefully in like more healthy streams, not the one like tonight. I already have amassed a mountain of tissues to the side of my keyboard. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah. Fingers crossed that it's just tonight, and by Thursday I'll be better. When we were downtown yesterday, I must have slowed my walking speed without realizing it. As we continued on toward the beach, I tried sprinkling in events at school or materials I read in books, but her reaction to it wasn't favorable. However...
何か
She gave me a doubtful look. No, it's nothing.
そうですか。
I didn't understand this uneasy feeling. It felt like she was assessing me. We reached the shore at sunset. Were you not feeling well today? I tried to bring up another relevant topic while searching for the path to the beach. Oh no. Why do you say that? Has anything happened? Are you getting symptoms? Are you alright?
いえ、特には。
I see.
何か変でしょうか。
No, I'm probably just thinking too much.
心配ですか。
About what?
私が。
No, well, maybe. The conversation was rather colorful, yet still so calm that I couldn't help but smile. Oh, I see. You had a contact. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Fingers crossed. I hope things go well. It's alright. You're most welcome to join the Discord if you feel like it, but at the same time, if you don't feel like it, it's all good. Perfectly fine. Only positive vibes here. It sure is cold. Oh, he's still talking about the weather again. I tried to hide my embarrassment by murmuring the obvious. What changed Chihiro's mind about going outside the station? Well, to some extent, I began to realize why. The time had come. The time when she would talk about herself. Ooh. Maybe it's best to save here. It's 11:30. We're streaming for 2 hours and a quarter. I think it's fine. Save it here. Alright. And then we'll jump directly into it next time. Oof. Yes. There we go. Ugh. You can see just how red my eyes are in the big camera. Oh god. It's alright. I promise I'll be okay. Oh. Joking on Beatrice's pet pets. They're very, very good because she sent some to Metcalf when he was feeling sick the other week, and I delivered them, and it helped. It was very nice. So, do not underestimate the pets. Thank you so much for being there, guys. I appreciate you putting up with this. My nose is also super red on the sides because I keep blowing it, but yeah, it's alright. We get past this too. Right, so since we didn't stream last time, I kind of wanted to make it up to you guys somehow, but obviously, since I'm feeling this way, I would much rather not overdo it this week, and we keep to the regular schedule of doing it Tuesday and Thursday. I wasn't that bad. Thank you so much. Quality pets, yes. Beatrice original pets. No one can deliver the same. Yeah, thank you for the reassurance. Clinton feels good. Right, so as I was saying, this week we keep the regular schedule of Tuesday and Thursday. I also need to update the schedule underneath the stream, so you know that Thursday is on, and I will do it right now. Just because if I don't, I know I will forget about it, because that's how scattered my brain is. And the extension is not loading. Hello. Great. I do sound tired. Yeah, yes and no. I don't really feel that tired. It's just my voice is kind of strained because of the throat. That's all. Okay, there it is. Now I finally can see the extension. Thursday, 9 p.m. Bucharest time. Save that. There we go. It's there. It's on. I will be there. Come hell or high water, I will be there. I'm pretty sure it cannot be worse than today. Yes, and about next week, actually I hadn't realized it on Thursday, but because, you know, I work from home and every day is the same as the other and I will lose track of time. Even though I do see the date there, like the date doesn't mean much to me. But I realized afterwards that actually next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after that, is the Romanian Easter. Or like, not Romanian, sorry, the Orthodox Easter, which we Romanians mostly celebrate. And I'm gonna go see my parents. I'm gonna be traveling Friday morning. So having a stream on Thursday would not be alright because I need to prepare. So initially the idea would have been to cancel it, but in order to make up for last week, I decided next week we stream Wednesday. Right? So we have Tuesday and Wednesday. And after that, the schedule is going to be the usual, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Hope that sounds good. And I will also try to do a better job of putting much more appealing face in this. For today, this was my best. Yeah, I hope it wasn't too unappealing. I know it's not great, but you know, it is what it is. At least I was here. I did it. We enjoyed the story. I personally like it very much, and I cannot wait to get into the nitty-gritty of it. So stay tuned for that this Thursday. I don't need to appeal good. Sometimes you don't even notice if I have a cam or not, right? Just joking, just joking. It's all good. Oh, thank you, Only Manifested. You're too kind. Oh, alright. Well, I hope I can appeal to the emotion that I put forward. I appeal with awesome personality. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. As do all of you. As do all of you. That's why we're having such a good time chatting amongst each other. Great. So now that that's settled, I'm gonna go rest for tonight. Possibly not speak at all until tomorrow at 10 a.m. when I have my meeting and rest my throat. And I will see you then. Aww. You're welcome to be part of the sweetness. Usually every Tuesday and Thursday around this time. Like I said, next week is gonna be Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah. Take care, guys, and see you next time if you're around. If not, see you when I see you. For now, have a good rest of your day, no matter which time zone you're in. And yeah, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, eat delicious food, and, you know, find that internal happiness in the small things. Bye-bye.